Hello people of the internet, my name is Esther and today I'm gonna tell you how to plan a perfect Halloween party. Up until like 2 years ago, I was always in charge of doing the Halloween party at home with my family. So I have quite a bit of experience in how to plan a good Halloween party. These parties were a mixture of adults and kids, but some elements of it I think can totally be translated to an adult party. Without further ado, let's get started. First off, invitations. It's the best to send them out as soon as possible because Halloween is a time of year where a lot of people probably have parties. So if you want people to go to your party specifically, then send it out as soon as possible. As for making the invitations, most likely gonna invite people throughout the internet, maybe even through Facebook today. But if you still want to get a bit more creative, you can make a nice image that has all the details on it that might be even a little bit of fun or spooky. If you have an annual party, definitely use callbacks to previous parties, like pictures that were taken, because those can be a very good part of the invitation. I've made PowerPoints, I've made pictures, I've made letters, and I've made even video to invite people to the party, and it always have been received positively. Number 2, decorations. It's easy to go out and buy things to decorate your place with, but if you're on a budget and you can't really buy anything, you can always make decoration from scratch. Like you guys can see behind me, these are super simple. I took just some printer paper and printed out a couple forms for leaves and for bats and for jack-o'-lanterns, and then I bought some colorful paper and in some cases just took some white paper and colored it in, and I traced the images, cut them out and put them on the wall with blue tack. It's super easy, super simple, and you can make a lot of it in a relatively short time, so you can cover a lot of walls with decoration like this. But there's plenty of cheap and easy decorations that you can do online. I'm gonna put in some more pictures of decorations that I have made before. I've sewn spider, we've also made at home little ghosts that also go on the wall. The head is just some cotton and then you put a piece of tissue over it, tie it around the neck and draw some face on it and you're done. We also made a papier-mâché zombie head, and then we just puff out some clothes with some blankets, put the head on top of it, and it looks awesome. So these are some small ideas what you can do to make her house a bit more Halloween-y. Obviously use a lot of candles and dim the lights because that also adds to the atmosphere. You can use strings to create crosswebs for spiders, put sheets over your furniture, so small things like that, and a couple of touches go a long way. Also, if you're planning something annual, then definitely put away your decoration and take it out the next year. And by DIYing something every year, just something small, the collection will gradually grow, and there's always something new for the annual returning guests also, so it's a win-win situation. As for activities, these are more geared towards kids, but let's start with the main event. At our party, the main event was carving the pumpkins. For that, we asked the guests to bring a pumpkin with themselves. We provided a table, carving utensils, markers to mark on the pumpkin, and the tea lights. This way, you don't have to put a lot of money into a fun activity, but doing the pumpkin carving together can be a very nice time to bond or be a bit more competitive, and afterwards you can line them up and take some cool shots. Another ideas for activities which are a bit more geared towards children could be, if you have a big yard, definitely take use of it. Make the kids play tag, some monster themed tags. You can Google games like that, like everyone gets to be a specific monster, and you can also have team games, which are always fun events. After a race like that, the winner could get a little bit of candy. It also doesn't have to be a lot of candy that you're giving out, just something. For indoors, you can use the decoration that you just made and attach riddles to it and number them and give the kids just answer sheets and wait for the answers to roll in. And then everyone who got at least a bit close to answering all of them correctly can get a candy. So again, that's also a fun game. You can choose riddles that are in theme. But the two most popular, this is for two most popular games, were, first of all, before any other game started, I hid candy, small wrapped candy, in the garden. So whenever, after everyone arrived, the kids would line up at the door and I would let them out to find all the candy. It was always fun. They were running around and everyone really loved it. You can also do that indoors, I think so, but it works better in the yard. Another popular game was when I took a jar, filled it with candy, and the kids had to try and guess how many candy is in the jar, and the person whose guess was closest to it in the end of the night ended up getting the jar of candy. It was again always super exciting. Number 4, food and drinks. This is again something, if you're having a big party, that can get quite expensive. What I would suggest is to prepare maybe a couple cookies or biscuits, some chips, or a few treats, and then ask when you're inviting your guests to bring something along with them, either be it drinks or food, or if you have a close communication with your guests, you can even assign it to people, or just ask, hey, who would like to bring something sweet, who would like to bring something silly, who would like to bring something to drink, which I think is the easiest and best option. Also, the treats you're preparing at home can be a bit Halloween themed if you want to, or you can make small things to make it a bit more Halloweeny. We had some rubber toys that we hid in the chips, and I also made some coffin shaped balls out of paper, which you can easily throw out after the party. You can put some, I don't know, maybe nuts or chips in it, and that's an easy addition to make the party more Halloweeny. The 6th tip is music. It's very easy to just put in some background music. You can either choose something from YouTube, or even Spotify has Halloween related playlists. They are usually a nice mixture between very Halloween songs or songs that sound a bit eerie or scary, which would be perfect to just put in as a soundtrack and let it play in the background. My very last tip is related to how to transform these tips into a more adult party. Again, you can use these decorations I mentioned. I think they also work in a more adultish party. Obviously, with foods and drinks, you can also make people bring alcohol. The music, it can stay the same. And for activities, you can pick or choose. I think the jar with candies is something that even adults would love to guess at. And you can also change the riddles on the bats to maybe something a bit more adult themed. It's just something, a little extra activity that your guests can do and would make the party that much better. In my experience, I've always liked parties the most when there was something extra thrown in. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did so, please give it a thumbs up. Certainly, I feel this is the most Halloweeny I will get this year, even though I love planning this party. Love putting all my creative energy into it, but I hope at least this video helped you guys make your creative juices flow, especially if your party turns out amazing. And let me know in the comments down below if these tips were useful for you. And if you're interested what I'm gonna upload next, then please subscribe. And I'm gonna see you guys next week. Bye bye!